Hello guys, Mituchu with another video. And in this one I want to talk about my OTS championship experience. We had 3 OTS championship tournaments in a matter of 2 days in my area, and I was able to attend 2 of them and basically competed with Synchron. It's a little bit interesting because I've been doing these videos to test the best Synchron variant for right now and to see what we can do against the meta. And let's go into my results. Well, didn't do that well. As you can see, 3-2, ranking 13, not that great. Well, honestly, this was fine. I would say my performance was good because I did not misplay, I did not lose because of something I did wrong. It just was inevitable. Days like this will happen, so you gotta brush it off and continue forward. So, was the deck good? Was it bad? Well, my 2 losses here, round 1 and round 4. First of all, I lost all the die rolls. I even rolled 11 and my opponent rolled 12. So yeah, the only die that I won was the last round, and I was playing against Branded, which is a really good matchup for me. So that was probably the best kind of meta call to play this deck. If there's a lot of Branded, Synchron is good. But here, these games, round 1 I was playing against Invoked, round 2 I was playing against Malice, round 3 I was playing against Dogmatica branded deck, really interesting deck, and round 4 I was playing against Invoked. So my 2 losses, also the other OTS tournament, I also didn't top, and I lost to Invoked as well. And I lost the die roll against Invoked as well. So from 2 OTS championships, 90% of my losses are against Invoked. I lost my last round on the other OTS championship against Azamina Rolat, which again I just lost the die roll. He went first, won the first game. Really hard, by the way. It was like a 30-minute game 1. Then game 2, I let him start. I killed him. And then game 3, he just had full combo. I had no hand traps, and yeah. So, how does Synchron line up into the meta? I would say not great. Unfortunately, in a format where we have these decks that can set up these insane link climbs with even the Malice player that I played against, if he was able to full combo, his full combo ends on Spell Canceller. So all these decks that can produce a lot of bodies, like the rollout decks, they just FTK you with Omni Negates and like some kind of floodgate, like Spell Canceller, Christia, you name it. Then Invoked. Invoked is particularly good against our deck. Basically, I would say Invoked is the new arch enemy of my deck, because Invoked can banish 6 cards from your extra deck. 3 on your turn and 3 on their turn. So they start on their turn, they banish 3. On your turn, they can quick play spell, do that, and you lose 6 extra deck monsters. And my opponent didn't really know what my extra deck was doing, so he didn't banish like Speeder and things like that. So I was able to play, but on top, Invoke played so many hand traps that he had like Ash draw on top of that. So yeah, like round 1 I got violated by Invoked, so his board was basically unbreakable. He had 1 in hand, which was draw. he had Solemn Judgment, he had the Invocation Sword that can summon Invoked Aeon and banish my board and banish like 3 from my extra deck. He had Kali Yuga, which only allows me 1 monster effect per turn and 1 attack. He also had Oceanus. It's insane. It's insane. But yeah, I would say our deck does not do well going second against any of those decks. It's really hard to break the board. Honestly, with most of the decks, if they resolve the full combos, you're pretty much losing. So what do we need to do to win? Let's first review a little bit the Invoked deck. Okay, so if you guys have been sleeping under a rock, you don't know, like the Invoked deck is really real. And it's not that expensive, so a lot of players are playing it. As you can see, well, Alistair the Reminiscent is probably the most expensive card, and Hyper Invoked Eon, and like I won one of these in my entry packs and sold it for 10 euros. So this card is you don't break the bank. You need 2 of this. You can play 3, but like for $100 you can build a whole deck. This is the appeal of this deck. You need to familiarize yourself with what the deck does. You know, there's always the meme that you normal summon Alistair the Invoker. This still is a thing. More of a thing is Magical Meltdown, which is super problematic, because if you end on a board that has negates, one of the ways to lose to this deck is Magical Meltdown on the field, the activation of cards and effects that include an effect the fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot activate when a monster is fusion summoned this way. So if the fusion monsters have some kind of trigger effect, you cannot respond, just like Branded Lost. And yeah, this is really powerful. Invocation, if you guys don't know, basically this is a fusion deck, but it has some link plays as well, because nothing locks you to fusion summoning only. Basically, Alistair the Invoker is the main guy. You can search him in several ways. This on normal summon adds Invocation, and Invocation is like a fusion spell that can banish from field or grave. They can also banish your cards. So one of the problems is Ash Blossom is a fire, and you use it to stop, like, let's say Meltdown, and they already have ways to play. They can just banish your Ash from the grave and use it as material for fusion summons. So, long story short, a lot of ways to go into their place. They banish cards and then they return them with the Invocation Sword, return them back to the graveyard, and they have these new boss monsters, basically Invoked Oceanus, Alistair monster plus Dark or Water. Basically, they put this in the extra monster zone, and this is Dimensional Fissure. This is basically, it says Dimensional Fissure. This card is the reason why we lose against this deck. 2+ fusion monsters with different attributes. Basically, they set up this every time using Soul Rat, Bay Baron, and Raijin. So all of these are different attributes. In the combo, you banish this, you summon this, and you summon this, and then you can banish these from the graveyard or return them from the banish pile to the graveyard to summon this. When this is summoned, you can banish cards from the field graveyard up to number of monsters used on material. Then if you use 3 plus materials, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 cards from it. So remember, this means that even if you play 3 of the same card, they can banish all 3 copies. It doesn't have any restriction, so they can just look at your extra deck, just banish 3. This is really problematic against decks like Synchron and like Kotun that really rely on some one-offs in the extra deck, so you can banish. And basically the combo ends on Vikram setting Invocation Sword and Invocation Sword. Basically, you're gonna summon this with 3 materials, then you're gonna banish the 3 materials, and then the Invocation Sword is gonna return 3 materials back to the graveyard to summon another one, and you're gonna banish 3 more, and you can banish 3 cards from your opponent's field or graveyard non-target. So this card is insane. Also, the stats on the card is super massive, so this card is super insane. This is the reason why Invoked is so good. Like, these other cards, they're manageable. Like, this is a negate. If they have a good hand, they can put this before the Aeon combo, so you probably won't be able to do anything if they have this. The problem with this card is they have to discard the same card. Let's say you try to hand trap them, they have to discard a monster. If you have like a board breaker, they have to discard a spell, and so on and so forth. This card is just like plan B. So yeah, like everything else is fair in this deck, honestly. Like, this card is really stupid as well. Each player can only attempt to activate 1 monster effect per turn. Each player can only attack with 1 monster during each battle phase. This card is stupid. But most of the time they're just gonna end on Oceanus, Eon, and Sword set, and then they're gonna use Sword to summon another Eon. This is absolutely bonkers against our deck if they know what to banish. How we counter Invoked with Synchron? I think the best card is Artifact Lancia. Artifact Lancia not only stops them from banishing your extra deck, they also cannot use Invocation. I mean, they can use it, but they cannot banish from the graveyard. So a lot of their lines revolve around normal summoning Alistair, then linking it off, and then using Invocation to banish the Link and Alistair, and go from there. But Lancia prevents all of that. Honestly, I think I'm gonna be putting Lancia in my side deck going forward because Invoked is so popular and it's such a big counter to my deck. I need to be able to win against it. Then Bell, I think I'm gonna be playing 2 to 3 Bells in my main deck because this card stops Eon. Basically, Hyper Invoked Eon is the only problem that I have. Like, they can end on Oceanus and Mekaba and Kaliga. If they don't banish my extra deck, I can win. Also, if they don't have Droll and Solon, but yeah, what can you do? Every deck can play those. So basically, any hand trap that can stop Hyper Invoked Eon is gonna be what you need to beat it. So Gamma is an option. You can also play Delta to negate like the spells, but why Invoked is so good is that the spells have effects in the grave. So if you negate this, they can shuffle it and add like another one, and this is not once per turn to fusion summon, and then this is once per turn. So they can use unlimited invocations and only 1 sword. Valorant Imperm. A lot of people would think that hitting Alistair is good. In some hands it might be, in some hands it might be just like you hand look yourself. Then board wipes. All of these blowout cards, they don't have an Omni negate. So the Omni, Mechaba is kind of a Omni negate, but not really, because it needs to discard the same type of card to negate it. And usually in their combo they can end on having Invocation and Alistair in hand, so they can negate a spell or a monster. So if you have two board breakers, I don't think they can do anything about it. They're only gonna have one Invocation Sword set to go into Aeon or Elysium or Oceanus, whatever they want. They're only gonna have one monster. So these are really good. Pot of Slot, of course, can get you to all these breaker cards like Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Droplet and Crown are also good going second because of the same reason. You can combine them with the board breakers and you can just negate Aeon or You gotta be careful with Droplet though, because Oceanus being in the extra deck monster zone means that you can only send spells for cost, so that's a thing. Then Kaijus, you can Kaiju away Oceanus or you can Kaiju Mechaba if that's a problem for you. But other than that, the Kaiju is not that great, so Santa Claus and the Kaiju, it helps, but it's not like, oh, I have these in hand against Invoked, I'm gonna win. No. Then Lava Golem is better, obviously, if you don't need your normal summon, and in Synchron you can play without your normal summon or you can gain additional normal summons. So this can be played in our side deck, basically tributing Oceanus and Mechaba. Or if they don't have the full board, you have to tribute Aeon. The Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode is a little bit greedy against this deck because sometimes they just end on these two on the field and Invocation Sword. So you can't really use this until the time that they use Invocation Sword, they summon another one of these, and by that point they banished your extra deck, so you're pretty much losing. So I would not recommend using Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode. So why is Invoked good when it has like all these counters, right? Well, because these cards are not good against the other decks. The rollout deck basically says that the monsters are unaffected by cards unless they target them. This doesn't target, this doesn't target, this doesn't target, this doesn't target, you get it. All of these cards don't target. The only overlapping cards that are good against Rollat and against Invoked are evenly matched Ghost Bell and Lancia. Why is Lancia good against Rollat? Well, they cannot banish from graveyard to ritual summon. They cannot banish their links to summon back from grave the Protect Code Toker. If you drop this in, like if you're going first and you drop this, then going second try to break your board, they cannot use access code, they cannot banish the sorcerer to make the Dark Magician of Destruction. There's so many things that they can do because of Lancia is actually insane. If they're on Azamina, they cannot banish the Sinful Spoils Wanted to draw a card. Actually, I think Lancia is really good against these decks and I'll be playing it. Then the other overlapping is probably Lava Golem. So I would say I'm I'm thinking of playing some kind of combination of these cards in my side deck because I'm just losing super hard against these decks. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope you have a better understanding of how to beat Invoked now. And I have one more OTS tournament. I'm gonna make a deck profile of the Synchron deck that I took to my OTS tournaments and show you what actually I'm doing right now after the testing of all the versions, which version I think is the best and why. You have reached the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me so I can make more content like this. You can also check all these videos over here. Thanks for watching. This was Winter Chill. I'll see you in the next one.